First of all, it's the cost, the saving of cost, okay, which could be time, it could be physical cost, it could be time of travel, which is a significant factor in a lot of the decision making that's taking place in many workforces out there. It's also competition. You know, where do we sit against our competition? What can we do that's different, that differentiates ourselves from our competitor? How can we at least catch up with our competitor, things that are driving that kind of behaviour, and also, you know, what can we offer to our customer? So it's 3 C's, you know, the cost, competition, and our customer.
I think what's really important in my experience working with some of the larger organisations is making sure it's the right device, it's the right applications, that the people are engaged. Crucially, that the support, you know, if something goes wrong with the device, something goes wrong with the solution, who do they call? Who's first line? Who do they put that back to? What are the hours of first line? What's the second line support? This is about having the right solution overall to make sure that, for example, if Jed was without a device for a few hours, that might impact his whole business day. So what is the fail-safe for making sure that when that is logged, there is a speedy replacement of a staged device with the right encryption, right security protocols on there, perhaps the right MDM solution, so the right mobile device management tool, whether that be a BlackBerry, an AirWatch, a SOTI, it doesn't matter, but it's about the solution being fit for purpose. And that encompasses so many different areas. But if the IT teams are feeling challenged by not understanding that, seek a good partner. There are many partners locally that can impart knowledge. There are many people from the technology vendors that can impart knowledge, but I have to say that if you get the solution right, you don't look back. It's all about those elements of the solution.
It's also down to, you know, what you're prepared to pay and what you can afford to pay, and there's a compromise within that. And also the environment you're working in. You know, if you're in a utility space and you're working in the outdoors and you're working in all kind of weathers, then clearly, you know, you need to protect the device that you're working with, otherwise it's not going to be fit for purpose. So, you know, there's always going to be that compromise and look at, you know, what's my user case, what's my environment, what's my expectation of cost of ownership, what's the likelihood of it breaking? You know, if I do give a smartphone to somebody, will they treat it the same way as if it was their own personal smartphone? Could I actually build tools into that device that actually gives them ownership, so they have, you know, they can have free use of it, sending texts and messages, etc., outside of working hours, for example, so that they actually look after it for their own benefit as well. Those are kind of some things you can introduce to endear them to that piece of technology which you're giving to them. So it is different. You know, the reality is we will never have 100% coverage wherever we are. And we have to build that into an expectation within the application that we write, and that, you know, we have a store and forward capability within our application. So yes, there's a place for 5G, of course there is, but, you know, it'll only be appropriate where we have that total reliability and where it's resilient and is proven to allow us to get the, you know, the data access that we're looking for, to allow us to make that informed decision with the data that's coming down to us. So it's, I guess, you know, 5G will have its place in maybe more consumer world rather than the business world, because the variety of places where we visit in the business world, we depend too much on the application working, the process working, getting the end result that we're looking for. As a consumer, we can wait. Okay, we can show a little bit of frustration, but we can wait. Whereas in the business world, you know, there's a clock is ticking, and expectation is rising, and so we have to be very, I guess we have to, you know, pay attention to that at all times. We cannot guarantee, and I don't think any service provider will guarantee that connectivity. You know, you have to work out what are you trying to achieve with the application. You know, so you're looking for dexterity, you're looking for an ability to change as things move. You're looking to have the capability to make a decision at the point of when you need to make a decision. So you need to have the information to hand. So, you know, all those things might require connectivity, but if you haven't got connectivity, you have to provide information, you know, in an offline format. You know, you've got to try and think of, what am I trying to achieve in this? That other concern I have of connectivity, of traffic, of legacy systems, etc. That's all kind of noise that I've got to try and work around, but I've got to accept it because that's the way it is. So that's the way I would just embrace it, adapt and overcome. Yeah. Think of the outcome that you're trying to achieve, and work around that. There are lots of service providers out there. There is lots of choice. It can be confusing in terms of what the options are out there. You know, we rattle off, you know, some of the mobile device management software, and there are lots of players in that space who can help you with security concerns, remote device management, of how you operate the devices once they're in the field. Consider the outcome, what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to reduce cost? Are you trying to achieve competitive advantage? Are you trying to improve your customer relationship. Once you have that, the rest of it can be informed decisions about how do I achieve that, again, cost effectively as well, go back to what Clive said. Everyone has a varying budget, everyone has a parameter to work to, but I think it's important that you work, why are you trying to achieve it, what advantages will it bring my business, and once you have that in mind, the rest will just fall into place.
I would like to say, don't let the devices be the barrier, because they clearly were 5 or 10 years ago to a lot of field service workers. Don't let the apps be a barrier, and don't let connectivity be a barrier, because for every one of these barriers, through discussion and through knowledge and through seeking those right partners, seeking the right advice, we'll find solutions that can really help you deliver what you're trying to do to the frontline people that really need those solutions. So I come from a supply chain background of can-do and positivity, and we always found a way to make things happen. So don't feel alone. Seek help, seek guidance, seek some support from your peers and from your technology partners, but if there's a will, there's a way.